Vidya Bhairava, verse 127, Dharana 102, which I enjoy reading a lot. And first time I read, it's every time you read, there are a lot of teachings to receive different teachings, and they all resonate by time and by space. And the recollection of the previous readings as well. Yet we don't claim on them. We don't expect every time it's a fresh experience. It's always afresh. That's what makes it so exciting. And usually, as said before, there is an amazing, wondrous synchronicity with one's being when it is better that's to take one book and continue with that. And in verse 127, I will read it exactly like from the one from Jayadeva Singh's version I started. So I will read from that version first, and then I will read through the other Vigyan Bhairava books. One's from Vetana Boimer, the other one is from Swami Lakshmanji. Okay, and then we will compare my personal experience from a recollection, artistic recollection. Okay, let's see. The English version I'll read. That which cannot be known as an object, that which cannot be grasped, that means to say that which is elusive, that which is void, that which penetrates even non-existence, all that should be contemplated as Bhairava. At the end of the contemplation will occur enlightenment. All right, and notes. The ultimate reality has been called avidya, or unknowable, in the sense that it is Vedaka, or the eternal and ultimate subject of everything, and cannot be reduced to Vedya or object. 2. Void or Shunya, Shivapadya in his Vritti commentary quotes the following verse to show in what sense the word Shunya is taken in Trika philosophy. That which is free of all alambanas, of all tattvas, of all residual traces, of all kleshas, that is Shunya or void. It is not void as such in its highest sense. The word alambana means support, so free of all support. It is either an objective existence like a jar or blue color, etc., or an internal existence like pleasure or pain or a thought, etc. Thus, Bhairava, or the highest reality, is called Shunya in the sense that he cannot be characterized or limited by any of these objective or subjective characteristics. He is free from all tattvas or constitutive principles. All constitutive principles derive their existence from him. Therefore, he cannot be characterized by these. He is free of all kleshas and their residual traces. The kleshas are avidya, or primal ignorance, asmita, or ego sense, raga, or attachment, dvesha, or aversion, and abhinaya, or clinging to particular forms of life, like fear of death. The highest reality is called Shunya, or void, because it is free of all these, not because it is not real. 3. Both existence and non-existence owe their stance to that highest reality. It is the common ground of both existence and non-existence. Shivapadhyaya quotes in his connection the following significant verse from Mahatma Manjari. What is the difference between an existent flower and a skyflower, which is non-existent? The universe derives its life from the divine creative flash, and that flash is the same everywhere. It is the common ground of both the existent and the non-existent. Very important. The power of Supreme Swatantriya Shakti, known as Spurata or Mahashatta, is present everywhere and is the common ground for everything existent and non-existent. In the words of Utpala Deva, this power of universal consciousness is the inner creative flash, which, though in itself unchanging, is the source of all change. It is Mahashatta, or absolute being, in as much as it is free to be anything. It is the source of all bhava and abhava, existent or non-existent. It is beyond the determination of space and time. Its being the essence of all is said to be the very heart of Supreme Sovereign. Abhinavagupta's commentary on this is very enlightening. He says, the word satta, or being, is, in this context, used in technical sense. It does not mean simply being. It indicates the essential nature of the agent in the act of being. That means to say freedom in all actions. It is called Mahashatta because it pervades even the Skyflower, which is non-existent, and which is existent because it pervades. There's no difference. So I was very, very inspired by the Skyflower, and I made a painting. I called it Skyflower because I have had a lot of names for the Skyflower, but then when the term Skyflower came, I thought it's so much better, the term Skyflower, because I can so much relate to it in the artistic sense that all artistic works are sky flowers. They come from the place where sky flowers grow, and they're as real as flowers that are touchable because there's no difference between them. Flowers that we think we touch is also growing, having exactly are made of the same material of sky flowers. And there we can contemplate all this on this a lot, and every time we contemplate, there's going to come another exciting words. So sky flowers grow each other, and we may say non-existent, but they are as much existent. So these also mean that the unchangeability of our being is because of the timeless, not timeless, but by being free of time. Only on that, on these premises of which is one and the same, so it's not plural, sky flowers and we are ageless. Sky flowers are real, but so much real as real, like this, and like my voice, anything. There's absolutely no reality. One is free to move. So there is this movement of being everything. So it is, imagine the cosmos like made of pixels. That is what we are deities once we assume a pixel, which is a universe. We can go into the pixel, it's a universe as it is having a shape and certain attribute of being a pixel, amongst others, having the same seed and the same code of all. So therefore, that is the movement of awareness assuming a form as an avatar of a specific pixel, which is like a world inside a world, while having the awareness of the totality. So it's a Only possible Skyflower's reality from the point of view of integrity. So you know the flower, and then you are also different flowers, different stars. Otherwise, there's a map one needs to find a way through to so-called totality, which is only an imagination. But the totality is one, and there's no name for it. It's not even total, not even one. And this is the supreme dancers. Um, um, Radiance, maybe that's a good word, which radiance made of excitement, inspiration, which is hard to bear a shape once there. And thus, let's read in relation to movement and freedom, free will, supreme freedom. So freedom is a word. And Swami Lakshmanju's commentary on this. This whole universe is a world of magic. That is a good word. This is a magician's world. This is not a real world. Where it's a real world. It's like magic. Indrajala Maya Vishwam. Just imagine that this whole universe is only magic, a magic trick. That is, that it has no substance in it, no substance of its own except God consciousness. This Vishwa is only just a magician's trick. Do you know who is the great magician? The Lord himself is the great magician. He has put this trick and placed this trick before us, and we are differentiated in this universe, although we are undifferentiated. It seems that we are differentiated from each other. So this expansion, if you perceive it as differentiated, in a differentiated formation, that is Indrajala. That is only the trick played by Lord Shiva to get you confused. You are confused. If you are confused, then you'll be confused. So that is part of the game. You're confused. You don't know what to do there. You think that he is your enemy, he is your friend, she is your daughter, he is your son, he is your whatever. And you are lost in that magician's trick. Only then that's what I meant, then only then you're lost. It's possible that when there is no integrity, then you will always search for the unsearchable. So once it's always unsearchable, it remains, the search creates the search. Or imagine that this is only a painting in one's own self. So this is very beautiful. Or it's a film. So you can't judge the film because it's the director needs to put all the elements in the movie or in the painting. It's for the divine composition. So it's not, no one is making it. It is its own will, the will of the beginningless truth. Certain only that can make supreme choices, and there we come to understand the order and the unorder, the non-linearity being the set of linearity. So an alphabet or a yoga sequence cannot be prescribed because then there's duality. There has to come in the thoughts in it to or memorization. We are not going to do overfitting. We want the best. What is the best is the simplest, the sober, the clear, clean. So let's read it. Or imagine that this is only a painting in one's own self, that this whole universe is only a painting in one's own self. It is a very well-drawn painting. Yeah, it's the absolute perfect. There's no other word. And imagine, or just imagine that this whole universe is not stationary. So this is also that it is moving. It is moving from one point to another point, but simultaneously being all points, but there is this movement of assumption from one point to another point. It is moving. Brahmat means it is moving. It is in its move. So it is in its move. That is a better act. It is in its move. And move from the heart, from that inspiration, from the heart. That is the move. That is moving. You can feel that it's moving from always from the heart. It is not destroyed. No destruction. Destruction means there is beginning and there is an end. This is no beginningless truth. When one is that, don't say that he's destroyed. So it's just the bodily death is something else. He has it. So this is not destruction. This is just that which has assumed an avatar is moving on, and there's just for too small. Otherwise, because the avatarness is it's also in its beauty of endlessness. Even the avatar itself, by being part of the dance. So this is just the same material. They're all made of the same material. He has moved from one point to another point, from one pixel to the other pixel, without losing the knowingness, the inner knowingness. This is not a mental knowingness. You cannot write really about it. If you write it, it is possible, but it is imperceivable. And thus it becomes some kind of restricted matter again. But so that is coming from the need of security of the habit. It is a habitual thing that putting it down. It's a very more worse habit than any other habits ever that we have named with our language. Thus the change is next change is in the language. In the language that that without words, the uncertain language, a language that we can talk without the words. But don't take literally what I say. So words are jewels, like I said before. So that way words need to be used. They're very precious. They should not be used in redundancy. Each word is a sound, and each sound is a mantra. The way we combine it is a poetics. Poetic harmony is the image of the poetic harmony of this universe. It is a love song. Every word has to be used that way. That's why it's a jewel. So when no one is, he has moved from one point to the other point. When one is young, a boy, a child, and he becomes a youth, he moves from childhood to youth, from youth to old age, from old age to that, from that to next word. It's movement. And movementless movement. That means that you are still everywhere having the awareness of all this cycle. Apparent cycle is not like on a history line. You understand? These are stars shining simultaneously, not with a death of stars or that's from what we think. Oh, that of no. It's just so self-obvious. It's thermodynamics also. Energy can neither be destroyed nor be created. And energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It's just, we have told it in so many ways of poetry, poetic language, which comes only from the same source of inspiration. So it is only a movie, a great movie, a movie picture. When one perceives and contemplates this way, then the state of real bliss takes place. The rise of bliss takes place. This is Shaktopaya. Thought is the desireless state of that mind. Thought is just nearing that Atma, the state of Atma. That is the difference between thought and the mind. Thought is nirvikalpa, the mind is savikalpa. Okay, I can also read that, what that means. Thought is thoughtless, nirvikalpa, and the mind is thoughtful, savikalpa. Vritti Paramarsha is the mind, and Shakti Paramarsha is thought. Vritti Paramarsha goes away when your Paramarsha is developed in full awareness. Then it takes the formation of Shakti Paramarsha. When the awareness of Shakti Paramarsha is trodden down, then it takes the formation of Vritti Paramarsha, and you are in the mind. You are roaming in the mind then. Otherwise, you are shining in thought, not roaming in thought. Either you are shining in thought, or you are roaming in mind, or wandering in the mind. So that was it. This was from the Manual for Self-Realization, Vijnana Tantra by Swami Lakshmanjoo. And the first when I read it was from Jayadeva Singh's book, the first book I read on Vijnana. Thanks.